Why are you laughing?
I love the intro.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
It's only in my ears, and I just love it so much. It's so good. Anyway, welcome to the Stretch Thin podcast. My name is Joel. I've totally skipped it. I did the thing again. Where I try to already start doing the old. Oh my gosh! Welcome to the Stretch Thin podcast.
Where we share our experiences as two men trying, not thriving,
Not
in the
thriving.
21st century. I'm Shannon, a pastor, coffee shop owner, and an author, and you already know that.
I'm Joel. I'm a former pastor now, as well as an author and now tech professional, who is very stretched thin. Once again, coming in. This is the second episode in a row where I've just botched the intro and blamed because I'm stretched thin. But Shannon, are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's do this. Wow. Maybe it's because I feel breathless still from that workout, but it's hot too. It is so hot, and I
Yeah,
hate
man.
working out when it's hot. I don't know if anyone's like me, but I have this issue with my sinuses that they get so hot and my face gets red, and it just all the heat's here in my face. And so every workout when it's above a certain degree, it just is ramped up in intensity. And today's was rough, and we had to run outside, and it was a sprinting kind of workout. We have cold plunges in the gym. I finished that workout, and I didn't high five anyone. I didn't say good job to anyone, dap anyone up. I went right over to the cold plunge and stuck my head in there, and just on my knees, had my hands in the cold plunge. Just even worse, even so bad. I took a regular size towel, not a hand towel, a regular size towel, just dunked it in there, wrung it out a little bit, and just threw it on my body just to try to get my body temperature down. That's just how I just get so hot, and yeah. So
And you said you
that
had the cough, the like
yeah, the you always have this little
yes,
lingering cough. You call
yes.
it Fran lung in CrossFit because it's the idea that you go so hard, you exert yourself so much that it feels like you're still out of breath for hours later, and you in quotes have are sick or something, but it's called Fran lung. We just have that little cough. And we were talking, and you and I were talking before this, catching up, and I'm just getting out of breath, just talking and catching up, asking you how everything's going, and I'm starting to cough. Well, no, please, I can't do that. So
You got a friendly cough.
I am.
Yeah, I'm glad to to know what that's called because I from time to time I get that every Murph I have it. It's the run,
Yeah,
the all yeah, so
yeah. So we
I
call it
did
Fran lung is what we call it,
Fran lung. Okay.
because there's a workout called Fran, and it's like a benchmark workout. Sorry, I'm trying to get our camera to make it weird. I don't like this. I want to minimize the screen. Anyway, it's a workout that goes 21, 15, 9. And what you do is it's just thrusters and pull-ups. And what ends up happening is you should do it as fast as possible. I mean, you go absolutely balls to the wall. Well, what ends up happening is most people can finish that workout in 6 minutes. Sub 6 is really good. But if you're going absolutely nuts for 6 minutes, right? Yeah, that's what ends up happening is you get this just crazy buildup of just and that's why you call it Fran lung. So yeah,
Well, I hope your Fran lung lasts a short amount of time and you're back to normal soon.
probably will be. What about you? How's your day been?
It's been a Monday. Today's a Monday, and it's been that fully a Monday.
A Monday and a half?
Uh-huh. Yeah. But yeah, we are dealing with some equipment and HVAC issues at our one of our cafes, and thankfully it's getting attended. It's all getting addressed today. We had our main fridge in our 7th Street cafe stopped cooling on Thursday of last week, and they came in this morning and got it back up and running, but they told us that it's on its last leg, so we're probably going to have to be looking for another cooler. And speaking of coolers, cooling, HVAC in that same cafe went down on Thursday, so we were without HVAC on one side on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and well through today. And
Sheesh.
this morning, I came in and noticed that the HVAC on the other side of our cafe, that the thermostat wasn't on. I was like, oh snap! And so it's gone down. And so now we've got the HVAC guys here. They're up on the roof and going on around and getting us back to cooling again. But we've been somebody, a friend of ours, brought a massive. I wish I could show you this fan, but it looks like the old big screen console TV. Like you remember the big like gray
Yes.
console TV. So I walked in on Sunday and it's sitting in the corner of our shop. And I was like, what is that TV doing? And I walk over to it and realize it's not a TV, it's a massive fan. And so it's been
But like a
at least
box
circular.
fan?
Uh, no, like you look at it and you can't see a blade or anything. It's the craziest thing. I've never seen anything
That's crazy.
before like
Yeah.
it. It's like I think it has had coolant. You can attach coolant to it, and you can
Uh,
have kind of like it's like a portable AC.
okay.
But
Yeah. Now I know what you're talking about. Yes. Okay.
never seen
I'm just
anything like it
imagining.
before. But
Yeah, I'm just imagining this big old flat screen, not flat screen, like whatever TV kind of thing. So anyway, keep
the
going.
like the big fat like console kind of a thing. I mean, it's taking up a whole corner, but it's keeping air moving. So, but hopefully, by the end of the day, hopefully we won't need it. That's what my prayer is. Please get us AC, which I feel really like after having spent 2 weeks ago in no AC in Nicaragua and it being like 109 degrees every day. I'm like, okay, I can't be too complainy about it, but
Right, you're like, oh, it feels like I haven't left. I never left Nicaragua.
balmy. Yes, it's just balmy.
That's
Yeah,
one
but
thing, man. I
I don't have Fran
cannot.
lung.
I just can't stay. Like the guys are the owner and the head coach. I mean, they're the owners there all day, but these guys who were there all day at the gym working, and I'm just like, how? Just you're just perpetually sweating. I cannot do that. I need to cool. I need to cool off. I need to not be sweating the whole time. That sounds so first world, and I bet there's so many people listening. They're probably like, "Yeah, okay, all right, dude." So
I have to really kind of like talk myself down from being all angsty and irritable because I don't like it too hot and I don't like it too cold. And if it is, then I get irritable
it's
and
so
I'm
funny.
like,
And you don't like sounds either. So you probably came in from the sounds of downtown already angry at the beep, 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 and you come in, you're like, "What's this? Why is it so balmy in here? I didn't know I was in the Amazon."
after that podcast and kind of talking that through, I can tell you with a clear conscience that I have learned to become a bit more um accepting. It is what it is. I'm really working on not being irritated with idiot drivers on the road. I'm really working on because the last podcast we talked about the parking garage and the people,
Yep,
not
yep.
being and I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna just give them space to be confused about how to make a get a garage gate open and just and be thankful that I maybe God has protected me from some catastrophic accident on the road that I need this extra 5 minutes waiting for them to figure out how to
Gosh,
pay for their
that's just
parking.
so funny to me. Oh my
I'm a, I'm
gosh.
I'm a work in progress, Joel.
Oh man. Oh, I feel like my sternum needs to pop. Does your sternum ever pop?
I don't think so.
You've never like popped right here in your chest?
I mean, maybe I have, but I've never like officially been like, I need to pop my sternum. That's
Oh,
that's.
it's just
But
tight.
hey, I'm
Oh, it's
learning
like
all
it's
new things today.
it's one of the weirdest feelings. but also one of the best feelings. And it's so loud too. I'll tell you that it'll scare anyone half to death near you. Cause you'll see it, you know, you're doing this and you're stretching and you're, boom. You'll be like, what happened? Like,
He
oh,
just
I
cracked his
popped my
chest
sternum.
cavity.
Yeah. I've got one of those aliens coming out, chest bursters. Oh man. Talk about old cinema.
What's your week been like? Tell me about your
Dude,
week, man.
you know, we were talking about it. I had to apologize to you because I was doing terribly while you were gone of posting because I was just doing so much with the stay, and it's hard because it's all on me, right? And I have to do it, and it's been great. I mean, last week was a massive week for stay. I mean, so huge. I got all the testing done, so the app was finished. I had a couple meetings with people who are, you know how it is as a guy who does nonprofits, right? And you know how fundraising is and what it's like to try to get connections and how difficult that is, right? And I mean, so much of the work of the nonprofit and is spreading the awareness to the right people so that when you do, you know, they want to buy into the vision. Um and one of the best things though is getting someone who is a connector, who has built a network on board with your mission and them being the one who can like open the doors. And I think because it's hard, right? You want to, you have this great idea, you know it's good in itself, but you don't have the keys to open the doors to get the things that you need to have happen. So you rely on other people to open the doors, or you go to the doors and you knock, and sometimes people let you in, and sometimes people don't. What's been so cool for me this past week was I had multiple meetings with people who are guys with a bunch of keys, is what I would call it, right? And those are guys who they know the door and they have the key to get in, and they just look at you and go, "You just tell me when you want to go to the door, and I'll open it for you." And it's great. So like it's for me now, it's once the app goes live, so it's in beta now. It finished local testing. Now it's gonna be in beta testing with, you're gonna have access to it, a couple other people have access to it, and the goal is for you guys to put it through the paces, pressure test it, and then it can go live. But once it goes live, the guy I met with today and I met with last week was saying, look, all this list of people, he was like psychiatrists, psychiatric offices, mental health offices, addiction offices, all this kind of stuff. He's like, I know all of these people and I can introduce you to any of them. And then he's like, here are conferences that I think you need to go to and I will help you get to. And whatever, like, I think you need to do a table or something, but you got to go. And what was really cool to me, and this is just it's a really small thing of a bigger problem I see a lot, is he said, Joel, I had no money when he started this, when he switched. He used to have a lot of money and then he switched to doing nonprofit and he had nothing. And he said, I I just went to these conferences. I didn't have a table. I snuck in through the loading dock. I put on a suit, I snuck in through the loading dock, and I just talked to people because I didn't have any money and any connections or anything. I just had to do that. And he said, but I have connections now, so let's get you connected. And to me, that is one of the coolest things that I think we don't hear a lot about. Is what ends up happening is people, they strive and strive and strive and strive and strive and strive, get up to where they want to be, and then they gatekeep, or they like to kind of, puff their chest of, yeah, I I did this, pick myself from my bootstraps, grassroots, did everything, and now I'm here. And what's interesting is stay in itself has is such a great cause that all the people that would be like that aren't going to be involved because they don't really care, and all the people that do care are still those are in that same level of echelon of people of connections and hard work. They're going, yes, this is fantastic. And so it was just a huge week, and I'm trying to celebrate that because it was a lot. I mean, but I was so stretched thin because on top of that, right on top of that week of doing all of that, meeting with people, like I mean, I was testing every day, doing a ton of work on it. My kids were busy during the day in VBS. I had, of course, still meetings and work to do for my main job. I still was coaching. I still was trying to go to the gym. Still trying to be there for my family. And the whole time I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's just a lot. But coming into this week, it feels good because it's great to see both the hard work that you've been doing pay off, and then also the provision of the Lord come through, right? It not because of what you've done, but in step with what you're doing and have done. And so that honestly, it was a great week in that regard. So long
And
answer
you've
for a short
put
question.
so no, no, but it's I mean, just as you're talking, you've put so much energy and effort and literally blood, sweat, and tears into this, and just I mean, so many conversations that you've said, like, I just want this off the ground. I just want this off the ground. And, you know, to see the dial move for you, like to see that and to see someone be like, yes, let's get you in front of these people. Like that's huge. And it's gotta feel good. It's gotta feel like, okay, momentum. You're picking up a little bit momentum here. And I just love it. I just absolutely, I'm so happy for you.
I wrote I published a Substack today about that called Growth Gathers Momentum, and just the idea, or like good gathers momentum. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And that good will always gather momentum because the good is outside of yourself, and that you can always point to it. If you have the good thing that you can always point to, it's gonna gather the momentum. If you're good, if or whatever is just you, and you're just trying to constantly present yourself and point to you, it doesn't gather momentum unless you're a very good orator or whatever. But in the end, you either have to lie or manipulate or whatever. But it doesn't. In the end, it's gonna reach it's the end of its life in the sense of you can't really constantly be pointing to yourself and convince people that you're worth whatever. But if you point to something else outside of yourself and you can help represent that, that's different. And it's stay to me is so good outside of myself that it's so easy to promote it to other people. I mean, even the conversation I had today with this guy and his assistant, she said I lost my cousin to suicide 2 years ago, and she said he called me a week before he killed himself. He called me and he was like, "I'm going to kill myself," and I answered, and I got someone there, and it was safe. But then he called me a week later, and I was in church, and I didn't answer, and he killed himself. And I said, and that is one of the reasons why Stay exists, because baked into the app itself and the functionality of it is if the first person doesn't answer, it kicks it to the second person. If that person doesn't answer, it kicks it to a third person. If that person doesn't answer, it prompts you now to call 988 or retry your contacts. And both of those work, right? And so that's the great thing is no matter what, there's still resources in the sense of connection available to you. It's not, oh, you tried, you had the wherewithal of mind, you were able to muster it up in the midst of this terrible time in this moment. You were able to text or call, and then no one responded, which is the ultimate final blow. It when in the end for those people is they somehow were able to muster it up to get it out and get the call or text, and then nothing. Stay removes that blow. So one of the great things about it is one, you can use your trusted contacts in your community. So that's cool. You lean into your community more than like a number. But then also you don't ever have that blow of, well, no one answered. Well, no. All you got to do is just press it again, right? Or call 988 or retry your contacts. And it's still right there just in case. So um, it's cool, man. I mean, it's so crazy to think that, and ChatGPT loves to remind me about this, that months ago this was an idea, And months ago, I was wrestling with back end. And weeks ago, I was trying to figure out what the heck's going on. And ChatGPT reminded me last night. It's like, most people never get to this point, Joel. Also, you're listing off all these people that now you're starting to get in contact with. Most founders starting a nonprofit would dream of having some of these contacts and connections, and you're already getting them, and you haven't even launched the app. Like, you're
So crazy.
ahead already. And I'm like, yeah, it's true. And so, anyway,
Well,
sorry,
I
I
agree
could
with
talk forever.
ChatGPT. I mean,
It's so
everybody
funny.
needs a little.
It's good. Like, I mean, people wanted to say what they want about AI, but I've trained it to be my chief of staff and other self that is encouraging me in the midst of helping me with what I'm doing. And it's so funny. It will just end with that. It will end with some little thing. I didn't prompt it to. I mean, it will just say, yeah, like, what is it? Here it is. It's so good. This is it. This is what it ended with. I got to read this because it's just nuts. Right. So I'm telling it, here's what I had my meeting today. Here's the transcript. Here's the call. Here's how it went. And what do you think? Lists off the things, gives advice, unpacks what happened, TLDR. Maybe if you don't know what this is, here, I'm going to explain this to you. And then he says, here's now where you should go from here. And then it says, hey, this is my overall assessment. A few months ago, Stay was mostly an idea, a website, and an app you were building. Today, you have a mayor on your side. You're building a board of medical advisors. You have this guy's industry or this guy's nonprofit. You have behavioral health connections, conference access, recovery networks, first responder pathways. The biggest bottleneck is no longer connection. It's getting the app live so all these people have something concrete to rally around. And that's a very different problem than the one you had 6 months ago. And it's just cool. That was unprompted. ChatGPT just did that unprompted in the sense of, adding that to the end of it. So
I love
anyway,
it. I love it.
such a long answer.
Well done, sir. Well done. What you should be celebrating. Absolutely celebrating. So you're
What about
good.
you?
You're
I
good.
mean, well, that was, yeah, my good and my win. And they're like, my win is I got the app done in that way. I think my good is that just, I feel like I am seeing the momentum build. And then I think my bad is just that I'm still trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing with, like, it's my schedule with it all, I mean, when trying to still getting the workout in, trying to still get as much sleep as possible, as is so hard. In trying to figure out when do I work on things, when do I prioritize going to bed early / on time. Um, it's just been hard. I mean, I found myself more irritable because I am stretched in that, just feeling that stress. And so I've been more irritable in that way. And like, I've had to apologize to Joanna and to the kids because I'm just going, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm on edge. But that's what I would say for that.
Yeah, just trying to balance it all. I mean, that's what the driving impetus behind this whole podcast, right? Is that we're trying to figure out how do we keep all the plates spinning, keep our heads above water, like all of the
Right.
things. And it's just it's it's challenging, to say the least. It's a daily uphill, you know, trying, not thriving, and that's so.
What about you?
My good was this past week we celebrated 27 years of marriage.
Woo, what?
Um, and we have this favorite place that we go to, this tiny home cabin in Blue Ridge. Uh, it's in Cherry Log, Georgia, which is just outside of Blue Ridge,
Carolina,
and
Georgia.
it is it is heaven, man. It's this brook, this branch runs down beside the cabin. So we open the windows at night and we literally have white noise all night long, all day, all the whole time,
Yeah.
as water is just literally like less than 5 feet from our where we're staying.
I'm
Um,
looking at it right now. Cherry Log, Georgia. Wow.
Yeah, shout out to the retreat at Fall Branch Falls. My friend Spencer and his wife Marcy, they own this tiny home. It's on Airbnb, and they've got such a quality presentation with this little property. It is just this perfect paradise. It's surrounded by trees. It's exceptionally private. It's back off of the back off the road,
I see.
but it's
Wow.
are you seeing it? Are you seeing
Yeah, I
the
am.
pulling?
Yeah.
It's so nice. And there's a trail that
Right next to it.
you can right next to it that you can go up to the Fall Branch Falls. And there's a at the
Wow.
top there's another like like a
Rocky Mountain
glamping
Summit.
setup, and which is kind of frustrating. I mean, it's a cool thing. It's these dome glamping tent type things, and but they've gone. I get so mad because it's like they've missed that. Like they've invaded the beautiful falls up top, and
Yeah.
it's just so it's peaceful. But I like to do. There's this big loop of a trail that I can leave the cabin, and it's about I want to say it's like a 3 mile hike, and so I do that in the mornings, and just a really awesome time. Christy's still asleep, so I get up and I go walk it, and just get to the waterfall. That's kind of like my reward. It's like I get there and then I can just sit and just kind of put my feet in the cold water and enjoy that, and then I make my way on down. So I just love going there with her. We like it's the Wi-Fi is slow. There's no cell phone service that's out there. We read, we play games. It's just fun. It's just so much
Yeah.
fun. And this so on our anniversary, we did something that we've been talking about doing, but we've never done. And that is we went to the spa. We went to the to get massages. We couldn't do a couples massage, but we she got a massage and I got a massage, and we alternated with the time to do it. They
That's
have
so
this
funny.
salt cave. So like you can go in and you spend 45 minutes in this salt cave, and it's all pink Himalayan salt all around you, and it's supposed to be good for your skin, good for your
So funny.
respiratory system. And so they were like, "Well, we can't schedule you for a couples massage, but we could let you do the salt cave together. That's always kind of fun." And we're like, "Oh,
That's always
okay."
kind of fun.
So we go in, and they're like, "You have to wear special socks when you walk across the salt, and you sit in these zero gravity chairs, and then you sit there." And so they put this over the speaker. They put this like real like meditative voice of "Welcome to the Himalayan salt cave." And they're like, don't, please be quiet, don't disturb the other people that are in the room. Well, no one else is in the room, so it's just Christy and I. And so we're
So
like,
funny.
we're cracking jokes. I'm like, do you think they have cameras in here? Are they going
That's
to
so
see us
funny.
talking? And we just so we I mean, we're just being so stupid and just make cracking jokes and laughing. And we were kind of walked out of there going, I really don't know. Like, I don't feel anything remotely close to what I felt coming out of the massage. Uh, that was fantastic, but
Yeah.
it was hilarious. So it was that was a good our win. My win is definitely crossing the 27-year threshold of marriage.
Yeah.
That's a win. Um, so yeah, it was
Wow.
good.
What about your good and bad? You said you're good. What about your bad? Has it been the AC
My
stuff?
bad is just the stuff that's been happening with small business equipment, HVAC, all the stuff. It's just like, can we just not have something fall apart today?
I know. I think it's so hard though because you're young, but it's part of life. Nothing it does not gonna last forever, and things break, and it's annoying, and it happens. And I know my my wife and I were doing our good and bad Sunday or last night. I was like, "What was your good and bad?" And she broke the sink, and so we're having to get it replaced. But we're renting, so we have to wait for the landlord to get the plumber and whatever. but she broke it because she had this glass jar of stuff and it just slipped out of her hand. And the glass jar didn't break, but it cracked the sink. And so she's, "Oh, it's just so frustrating. That's my bad." That's your bad? Was you broke the sink and now someone has to come out and fix it? I'm like, that's your bad? I thought it was funny. She's like, "It was not funny at all." She was so mad at herself for doing it. I'm like, it's just a sink. Like, it's gonna be fine. I just thought it was.
I
I
take
think it's just so funny. But it's in the same line as you. You're like, this equipment keeps breaking. So
it's just frustrating. It's just like, like, because it affects, like, our fridge went down, so we lost a ton of inventory last Thursday, and so, like, it it's there's a ripple effect, I mean, and then, I mean, thankfully the cafes have not been like miserably hot, but
right,
people just
right.
don't hang out and linger like they normally do. So
No, because they're sweating their butts off.
yeah. So yeah, that's me and mine and yours as well. You want to talk about some wins from our friends?
I would love to. It's been a little weird with our posting schedule or our recording schedule, so it's been hard for us to get wins. But what's been really cool is, to me, we've done this long enough now that if and when I text people, hey, I need a win. What's a win for for the podcast? One, the quickness with which people text me is great. And then two, the wins that they give me and how they talk about them have changed, right? In the past, like when we first started, I mean, because this is recording episode 14 or something. In the beginning, we're texting these people and they're going, what do you mean a win? I don't know what you're talking about. And now, even if I just list off, so one of my friends back in Virginia, his name's Jimmy. I asked him for his win. He said, I have a win. I just found out this afternoon that I'm being moved back to the full role I was hired for in the next month or so. So he works at a bank. It was acquired, and then he was switched to do a different role. And he was really excited about this new role he'd gotten because he was basically just got a promotion, and then they were acquired and they were switching everyone around. And he said, my patience in work paid off. And I was so happy for him because this dude he used to work at a call center for forever, and he took a chance and just started working at a bank as a teller. I mean, and it was so cool to me that he's moved up just because he just works hard. But then it felt so frustrating that he'd worked his butt off, got the promotion, and then within, I think it was weeks, they were acquired, and then they went, nah, we're moving things around. You're gonna have to do this now. And so, but it was great. I mean, I texted him. That was his win. So shout out to Jimmy for that.
Way to go. That's cool. To be kind of full circle, be back where you started.
Yep. What about you? You got one too to list off? I got a couple more as well.
Yeah, I've got that. So yeah, we sent out a text today saying that we need it. We missed last Wednesday, so I got 3 that came in on the text line today. Um, this one's took his wife on a date on Friday, and I've had some intentional time with her this weekend. So that's, yeah, much like mine. I think my good and win for last week. That's pretty awesome to do that. I don't know who it is. This person doesn't tell me who. So
How
we'll
dare
call
they?
them anonymous.
How dare they? I got another one. Let's see. His name's David. He's also from Virginia. He's a director. Let me double check. I don't want to misspeak. So he's a camp director. And what's it for? I just have to remember. He does this. Sorry, he told me, and I just want to make sure I don't misspeak about what he does. Anyway, oh yeah, he's like a director for a camp for middle school boys and girls um, that have lost their dads. Like it's a pretty big deal. And so his win was, even though they had some delays, all of the mentors and campers made it to the camp last night. And he said they had 40 people flying into Colorado from all over the country and lots of delayed and canceled flights, but everyone made it.
That's
And
cool.
so I get that. I mean, if your whole thing is people being at the camp, it
We
just
got to
with all
show
the
up.
flights and issues, yeah, they got to show up. So
Ooh,
shout out to you, David. And hey, now that they're there, I hope to hear next week that the win is that it was a great week of camp. So
yeah, for real. So Bert sends us two this week.
Ooh.
First one, his son has done an incredible job of driving by himself, and his stress level, while it's still there, is not nearly what it was. Yes, my son's going to be driving before the end of the summer, and I can only imagine. Yeah. And then the second one is that he actually has an interview for the dean of students position at his school. After
Whoa.
being looked over twice by the same administration, I've at least been seen and acknowledged by this new one. I may not be offered the position, but at least I've been given the chance. And that's just, I've talked about this. This guy is the teacher of teachers. He loves students. He's been at it for so long.
I
He
remember
would
we
make
talking about this.
a
Yeah.
fantastic administrator, and he's tried so many times. And it's just like every time he gets passed over. And I love his tone in this. It's like I don't have to get hired for it, but just to have been seen and to be recognized as a worthy candidate is a huge win. So yeah, celebrating with my buddy Bert.
Love it. Another one. This one was really great. Friend of the show, McGinnis. He said playing the opposite role and being there for my wife, which she needed me most mentally, rather than her always being there for me. And I said, heck yes. Way to
Way to
go.
go, McGinnis.
Way to go, sir.
He's a beast.
Sometimes he is, and then he works out twice a day too. So he's nuts. You got any more from the text? I've got a couple. One more here.
I got one more as well. So this one's really cool. This is a dad who's celebrating the fact that his 28-year-old son has returned to his faith after 8 years of absence.
Oh, wow.
Says he's now loving, he's kind, and he's respectful. And man, this dad's heart, yeah, that's a win.
Amen to that. Last one is Kelston. He's friend of the show. He coached 8 13/14-year-old boys on a hockey team in dryland training last week. And he said they enjoyed the whole hour session without a single complaint, and he was actually surprised. And this dude has been a friend of the show, and we've shouted out some of his wins in the past. He was unemployed, looking for a new role, and decided to take the full plunge into personal training, working at the gym that he used to work out at or was working out at, and just going in. And the Lord brought out of nowhere. This guy was like, "Hey, I usually train this hockey team. I would love to have you do it. You know, it's an extra source of income on top of what you're doing." And so the Lord just continues to come through and providing for him and his family financially. So, uh, way to go. I mean, it's not easy. Kelston is a stalwart man of faith and continues to persevere. And so, what a win! And then I got one more. And this guy has also been he's kind of a mentor to me, especially with business, but he has to fly around right now as CEO of this company to talk to investors to try to get more investors to invest in his company. And he basically said he went on this investor speed dating conference. And so he said, very successful investor meetings this weekend. He's flying back now. He met with more than 20 investors one-on-one with the goal being to convince them to buy our stock. He said, the stock is up 7% today, so perhaps I was charming and convincing. And then we also announced a 1.2 million win today, our first context with Austral USA. So it's like a company that they're working with. So I think it's great. I mean, the cool thing was he had switched careers and he has taken over this company as CEO that was in need of a really good business-minded CEO who's also a man of integrity, which this is Jason, is what he is. And he tells me, I mean, it's one of my favorite things to ask him every time he comes to my classes in the morning. I'm like, all right, what do we hear? What am I gonna hear today? Like, what's the scoop? And he'll talk about the stuff he's working on and how he's going to work through it. And it's great because it's like when you're around someone who's just godly and they're maybe ahead of you in life, and they talk about their marriage, and they never talk about it in the sense of this is what you need to do. They just talk about what they're doing. And in them talking about what they're doing, it's a great example and encouragement and challenge to you to emulate that, which I just think is great. And so it's fun to hear it from a business standpoint for him. But yeah.
And to hear good things happening for people like that just gives you like it inspires. Like I'm sitting here listening, going, yeah, for Kelston, I'm finding myself in a place where I'm really just needing to be reminded of the Lord's faithfulness and his provision. And so I hear that and it's like, yeah, he's good. He's still good. He's still faithful. And then to just, to hear this last guy's win is like, yeah, you can you can be successful. You can put your efforts in and see your business be successful. And we're kind of sitting with a crazy time right now. I think we're truly seeing the lull there's just that people are kind of holding tighter to their
Yeah.
resources right now, and we're seeing that.
Yeah.
Like I've been going, what are we doing wrong? What have we been doing wrong? And when just looking and realizing, well, it's not so much that what we've been doing wrong. We've just seen sales have been a little bit lower the previous month because we're all having to spend our coffee money at the gas tank. And so
Mm-hmm.
so it just kind of is like, you know what? Yes, I can stay at this. If the success is possible, it's just encouraging. So I
And
love hearing these kinds of wins.
here I am. I have been so anxious to so like I literally have this page open, and I told myself and I've told people I'm doing it today, gonna start it. And it's been the launch project for the Kickstarter for Stay, because I know once I hit launch, I have set to 30 days to raise $30,000. And how Kickstarter works is if you don't get the 30,000 in those 30 days, you don't get it. Like it's just, you don't raise the money, you don't just get to have a little bit of it, right? It's all or nothing. And there's this, it's like very,
Scary, isn't
very,
it?
yes, strong fear of, if I press launch and I start telling people about it, you know, what if no one gives? And, but you're right. So I was putting it off to be like, I'll do it after the podcast. But you know what? I'm doing this live right now. I'm pressing the freaking button.
Are you really?
I am.
Oh my gosh.
It's live. I pressed it. I did it. I did it.
There it goes.
Congratulations. Your project is live. Mm.
All right. Hey, Stretch Thin listeners, go support it. Man.
Well, that's so stressful. Anyway, so
It's like we sort of like just witnessed you skydiving, like you just jumped out of the airplane.
I really did. I I'm just staring at it right now. Like, that's right. Now I have to tell people too. So, anyway, you know what? But let that be a testament to, I don't like exactly what you said about the resources. People are holding on to stuff. At some point, it's not giving money away or whatever, but at some point you have to put skin in the game of life, and you can't always just sit on the sidelines and do whatever, right? So that's why we highlight wins so much here, is because the skin in the game can be anything, right? So for Jason, it might be flying to this investor speed dating thing, right? And going, all right, I mean, my role as the CEO of a company is to make the company money and to get more investors. So I'm going to travel and go meet all these investors and see what happens. Or skin in the game could be like you're talking about, Bert, just being like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to continue to just be faithful and give up my time and my energy and see what happens. Right. Or it
Hmm.
could be Kelston saying, I mean, I don't know where money's going to come from, but I'm going to be faithful in what I'm doing. And then the Lord says, here's some money and here's some opportunities. Right. So, but skin in the game is a requirement, is a prerequisite for the Lord to come through. I believe that wholeheartedly. You got to put skin in the
Absolutely.
game, and if you don't have that, it's a non-starter. And so, no pun intended, but on my end, for the Kickstarter to be successful, I have to put skin in the game, which was to invest in the project, to work on it, to put my blood, sweat, and tears, like you said, and to do it. But then also now I have to step out in faith for the Lord to come through. And had I not, if I don't press that button to say launch the Kickstarter, I'm not stepping out in faith. I'm still kind of, no, I'm not gonna do that, you
Y-
know?
you're clinging to the high dive and you're not jumping. And that's so scary. I find that as I get older, risk like that becomes harder and harder to take. I thought it would be easier to jump the older you
Really?
got. And I'm realizing that no, it's not. It's not easier. In fact, it gets harder the older you get, I think. At least it is
Why do
for
you think
me.
that?
I think you're just it's I mean it's the typical fear of failure. For me, I'm like, oh, what if I screw this up? I'm always like, I know God is faithful,
Right.
but I
Right.
also know that I'm dumb. I just do dumb stuff, and yet I look and I see so many times that I could have screwed things up royally with business and with everything, and still somehow, you know, and it's yeah. But there is always that just watching you do that, and that sort of holding your breath. It's like because you made a statement. You said, "What if no one gives?" And the fact is, they're not going to because you haven't pushed launch, right? So you're no worse off than where you were before you pushed the button. But now your chances that people are giving have increased exponentially because it's out there. So
Yeah. That's so true. Good. That's good word,
way to
Shan.
go.
All right. Well, high five. Hey,
Have fun.
everyone. Thank you for listening. We would love for you to send us your wins. And to do that, you need to text WIN to 210 423
423.
423 210 4777. That's what it is. All right. Text WIN to 423 210 4777, and you will be signed up to send us your wins every Wednesday. And we would love to hear them and shout them out on our podcast. Thank you to everyone who has followed along and listened. And hey, maybe this week the word for you is you got to put some skin in the game and you got to step out and risk that embarrassment, right? Because I think it's so good, Shannon, because you're never going to succeed if you never try. And so you got to at least step out and try. And, that whole what if no one gives? Well, what if everyone gives? You don't make that a possibility if you never step out. So,
Absolutely.
all right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week. Deuces.
See ya.
All right.